Welcome to Unreal Engine sample project. My name is Cliff, and today I want to talk about AI perception. I'm using a sample project to explain and practice implementation of AI perception for using in AI. You need to know basic blueprint programming skills with Unreal Engine, and also you must have knowledge of using events and blueprint interface. By end of this video, you will be able to develop AI scenarios by using AI perception based on sight, and you have an understanding of other AI perception classes to implement different functionalities for your AI character or object. Keep in mind, AI is not just enemy unit or friendly unit. You can use AI over an object and make that object sensitive with your AI. Make it intelligence in your game or application. Please download the sample project, run it, make sure it's working fine. Perhaps you need to wait for shaders to get rendered. And here is the GitHub link for the sample project. It's a free project. Just make sure you can download it. And in this video, I will check the sample project first. I will demonstrate how to use AI perception based on sight detection. And I show you how to customize objects in the map for AI perception. At the end, I will point out to a homework, or let's say practice, just to make it more practical. Alrighty, so after you open the project, you will have something like this. If I run it, so I have a third-person character. This project is made from a third-person template. I use Unreal Engine 4 mannequin and animation for the third-person character, and the reason behind that is just to make the size of the project, let me find it, very, very small. So I have just around 24 or 25 megabyte, I guess that should be, yeah. So it's quite, sorry, 34 actually, 34 megabytes. So actually it's a very, very light size, let's say, sample project. So what is happening if I get close to this AI character? Suddenly it detects me and it follows its detection in a specific area. If I go behind it, it can't see me anymore. If I go in front of it, it can see me. And if I keep distance from it, suddenly it starts detecting, and after a while it totally doesn't detect me anymore. So if I move again close to it, as you see this orange line trace and debug objects just comes up in front of that character. And if I get is on a specific distance, reach to a specific distance, just stop detecting. Even though if I go behind it, for a while it just detects me, and after a while it doesn't detect anymore. So that is interesting how we can do that. At the same time, if I move these objects here like this, so I have this AI character here, sounds like something like a wall, which is basically the static mesh actor, two simple cubes. And if I run it again, as you see, for one of them it can see me, but for the other one it can't detect my existence, and after a while it just loses its tracking of me. So sounds like I can hide here from that character, and if I move here I can't hide anymore. So how we can do that, that's the another topic which I will point out. So how things are working. I have an enum for activate and reset my AI perception. I have a blueprint interface. One of them will give me the two vectors called position 1 and position 2. Another one, I can send some string data. The other one, I receive a float variable called age. And for the last one, I will send my enum, which is basically the AI state. As I pointed out before, it can be activate or reset. Perfect. And I have my third person character. Third person character is just have same code as the third person character template has in Unreal Engine 5. The only thing different is just mannequin, the mesh and the animation. And I grab the location of this character. On tick, I just print out to a text render actor component, which is this one here. This. So when I run the game, I can see where is that character. If the character position is on X and Y, and that is the position of my third person character. If I grab the third person character here, and here we go, I have this X and this is the Y location of the character. So I know where I am and how that works. Perfect. The rest of the classes are in AI folder. So I heavily recommend when you use AI, make a separate folder, put your AI classes, object, perhaps you use behavior tree, Blackboard, AI task, AI decorator, AI services, whatever you use for your AI is heavily recommended to put in AI folder. That's a professional approach, and that saves a lot of confusion when you try to upgrade or implement more functionalities for your AI. So, important, please be organized, that's important. Alrighty. So, what I have here, I have two AI characters. The second character, which is this one, let's talk about second one because that one's much easier. It's a simple AI character. There's nothing special about it. It just have a location like third person character to show where that AI is located. I didn't use any AI controller for it. It just used the default AI controller, which doesn't do anything. And for the first character, I am using an AI controller. If I type AI controller for the character root, AI controller, I'm using the AI controller PRC_01, which is this guy here. So how to make an AI controller? Right click, go to artificial intelligence, and just click on blueprint class. This is different from Unreal Engine 4, it's Unreal Engine 5. Type AI controller, and here we go. I have AI controller. You can click and create, and then say AIC underscore, for example, 02. Perfect. And I can go for my AI character, AI controller, and I can assign that AI controller to my AI character, something like this. All right, so let's just reset AI controller to what it was before. AI controller by default. Compile and save. Close it. Back here. And delete this AI controller too. Save all. Perfect. So, what this character is doing. If you open this character, I have a couple of events who run here at the begin play, not events, sorry, my apologies. With my AI character at the beginning, if you open your project, you have something like this. So I get the controller, from controller I cast it to AI controller. Is that the AI controller who controls this character? I know it is. Here we go. AI controller. I make a reference out of it, and from that reference I can call events for my AI controller. This is all right, but I heavily recommend, instead of you casting to AI controller, just run interface on your AI controller like this. Is the controller implement that blueprint interface? This is my blueprint interface. Yeah, this guy. Does it implement that interface? If the answer is true, run this interface from that AI controller. From that with that interface, I will send an enum, which is my AI state, if it is active, or I want to reset it. And this enum is basically selected based on a public variable called PRC active. So if I just choose my character and let me move this one top, go down, and if I uncheck this Boolean variable, nothing basically is functional. It doesn't work. But if I check that, it will be functional like this. Perfect. So basically the user can decide to, activate or deactivate the AI perception. All right, perfect. And at the same time, based on this variable, I make another variable called active. I assign true or false to that variable, which basically activate my tick. If this active is true, basically tick is active. After a very, very short delay, I call another interface on my AI controller and receive two positions. From these two positions, I run an event. From that event, I just update this text render actor component, and this text render actor component is basically show me what is going on. It shows the position. At the same time, I run another interface and grab the age. What is that age? Just be patient. I will go through everything. And I just make a string and just print out with my text render component. And after that, I just run a function. Inside this function, I have line trace, I have debug cone, and I have debug circle. And I just basically run draw these debug components on the scene. I'm not going through what is exactly going on in this function. It's pretty simple. Just keep in mind here, I grab my vector, I multiply that by 1 and 1, 1, and 0. Basically, I make the element of that vector to equal to 0. And then I add it with 0, 0, and 80. Basically, whatever it was will be, it saves x and y, and add 80. Basically, I change the z coordination of that vector to 80. You can do that something like this. You can break that vector, save x and y, and just change z to 80. So these two are just basically same give you same result. This is more mathematical, and this one is more, let's say, using blueprint functions. Alrighty, so what else is going on here? I have another event, which is, I can call it from editor. And from here, I basically grab the controller. From controller, I call another event. I will go through this event later. And all right, perfect. So that was all. Nothing, as you see, is going on here. I basically detect an interface and send data from that interface to my AI controller. Here, I grab that interface again and receive coordination. Again, I activate that interface and receive a float variable called age. There's nothing specifically going on here. Everything is happening in AI controller. So let's open the AI controller. In AI controller, as you see, I don't have anything for event begin play and tick. Everything is happening with this AI perception and the events related to that AI perception. So you can add your AI perception to any actor if you want. For example, I can add my AI perception component, actor component, to the actual AI character. No problem. But it's heavily recommended when you have AI job, AI processing to do. It's heavily recommended to do that inside AI controller. There are two reasons behind that. So in this AI controller, perhaps I want to implement a behavior tree and Blackboard and use AI task, AI services, AI decorator to move AI and do extra behavior, implement extra behavior with my AI. And at the same time, I can use an AI perception to detect things around my AI, which I will point out what things you can detect. You can add multiple AI perception, and each of them can do separate jobs for you. This is reason number one. Reason number two, if you want to upgrade this character, it's much easier to grab the AI perception and upgrade the code instead of just going to the character. Perhaps you have different characters and you want to change that, and it's better you put everything about AI in AI controller, and that makes life much easier later if you want to change your code or upgrade that character to a different character or much advanced character. All right, so so what is that AI perception? AI perception is basically an actor component. AI perception. Let me just add one. The AI perception will provide a couple of classes for you. So as you see, I have component tags, which is an array. If you add elements to that array, for each element you can implement my bad, AI perception, here we go, oh my bad, not tags, sorry, sense config, sorry, AI perception sense config. This is an array. You can add multiple classes to this AI perception sense config array. You can add sighting, you can add hearing, you can add touch, and you can add more if you want: damage, hearing, prediction, and team sense config. Each of these classes provide a different perception for your AI perception. In this sample project, I'm using AI Sight. If you learn how to use AI Sight, the rest of these are kind of similar and the pattern is the same. So let me just get rid of this one and just back to what we already have. Each of these AI sense config classes have a couple of properties to sense the area around them. First one is the radius, and that is basically the maximum sight distance. You have another one, lose sight radius, and that basically is the maximum size distance to see target that has already been seen. So here, when the player character, if I run this, grab this guy here, when the player character goes after 500 centimeter, which is this distance here, it can start to detect my AI. If I go further, here we go. At this distance, which is this one here, it loses its sights and it doesn't detect the AI, the target anymore. Now let me return to to the detection distance and then move out, 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 out. And as you see, after a while, sounds like it just doesn't work anymore. It forgets what is going on. And that is basically this max age here. Every time it goes out of sight after 3.2 seconds, the AI perception component will not detect that character anymore, which is quite handy when you use that in game applications. So the enemy unit can see the player. If it gets closer, if it has the distance less than 500 centimeter, the enemy character will lose the sight of the player after 1200 centimeter, and after 3.2 seconds it totally lose, or let's say forget, the existence of the target. We have perception angle here. So basically you have half of the angle that the AI can detect, the AI perception component can detect the target. I put 60 degree. That means if I get close, as you see, I have a 60 degree of detection here, and after that it doesn't detect anymore. And after 3.2 seconds, it totally loses it. If I move to this side here, on minus 60 degree, it just loses. After if it get after it goes more than minus 60 degree, it can't detect that anymore. So it just works between these angle in front of the AI character, something like this. So it's obvious if I go behind it, it can't detect me anymore. So if I change that to 120, see what happens. I can move a little bit behind the character like this. So from here to here is 120 degree, minus actually 120 degree, and from here to here is positive 120 degree. If you want to make it to detect that anywhere, you just need to put 180, and it can detect anywhere around that character, something like this. So it's very, very useful and handy. Let me back that to 60 degree. You need to check this detection properties, enemies and others. If they are not ticked, just tick them all. What are they? They are out of scope of this program. I just put some links for you here. Just check these links and check what they are and how they work. But by default, for a basic implementation, you need to tick them all. I have other properties here. Again, check what they do, how they can affect your site class. By default, they are -1, 0, 0, and that is basically the default values which works. And you have a debug color. Basically, that is the line trace color for the AI perception component. So if I move here and I move outside of it, sounds like it doesn't work, but if I move this object here, and if you remember, the object, the character can hide behind it. If I move behind it, as you see, I have that line trace, green line trace of AI perception that shows where it the character can be, the target can be. So that's basically mostly for debugging, and it is quite useful and handy. You can disable it, but change that alpha to 0, and then just run it, and it doesn't show that anymore. Just bring it up one more time. This guy here moving. Can you see me? Yes, it can see me. And here, oh, interesting, it doesn't like me to work. All right, that was interesting. Anyway, so let's just bring it back. All right, so and you have another option here for your senses config, which is dominate sense. So if you have multiple sense here, you want to detect sight, you want to detect, for example, sound, and you want to detect, okay, what is the hearing config here. I'm sorry, let's say damage sense. You can determine which one has the priority. So it will check the sight first, and then we'll go for the rest of them based on the order of this array. This is quite useful. Perhaps you want to, in some cases, you want to change priority to hearing. First is check if it can hear something, and then go for the next one. So this priority is quite handy. Sight. All right. So how things are working. The AI perception actor component have a couple of events. So when you make it, when you add that to your actor, AI perception, here we go. These events are already empty. If you click, straight away it gives you that event related to that perception. This is AI perception number 1, and this event is belong to that AI perception. So I already implement the events for this AI perception, this one, and the rest of them. If by any chance you delete one of them like this, you can implement that again. Same like collision event when you implement that for the actor. Those are exactly same like that. So if I have an actor, for example, I have my, let's say this collision, capsule collision. I have a couple of events here. There, for example, for the begin overlay, I can click on this and straight away it gives me an event to detect the collision. All right, let's back to the air perception. Okay, so the AI perception, as I mentioned, have a couple of events. It's very simple to use, but you need to know what is the pattern behind it. I have an perception update event, which is this one here. I have another update event, which is this one, and that gives me a lot of information about AI perception. For the event, these two events are always firing when the AI perception process something from target. It can be sight, it can be sound. In this case, let me just remove these ones. It can be sight, it can be, if I have a hearing, it can be the hearing detection of the target, sound detection of the target, and the rest of it. So this event is always get fired when a process happens with AI perception. At the same time, this event as well will get fired every time this actor component process something. So what I did, I grabbed the first one on perception item, update. It gives me an updated actors, how many actors it found in front of it. If I just run it, grab my AI controller. All right, then I run this. I just move to this one here. Here we go. If I open this event, it gives me an array of the objects it detects, and the only object it detects is third-person character at the moment. That third-person character have these properties. So it grabs a reference of your character, which is quite useful and handy. Then, for each of these actors, I just make a loop. From that actor, I grab the AI perception and I get actor perception. This actor perception is giving you an info output. To use that info output, you need to break it. Break actor perception blueprint info. And that is basically this guy here. This basically info gives you target, give you sensed stimulate, let's say, is to give you if that is a hostile or if that is a friendly. These are Boolean. From this stimulate, this guy here, I can loop through my stimulate, and I already make a variable out of it. And from this variable, you can detect, okay, what I have. Do I have a sight or do I have a hearing? If that class, which I use for stimulate my perception, is it a sighting or is it hearing or is it something else? So you can say AI sense, hearing, prediction, sight, team, touch, and all these things. So it's quite useful and handy. Here you can detect what are you using for your AI perception. And then from here, you need to break the result. And that gives you a lot of other parameters like age, which as I mentioned before, is basically the time, how much time it can wait until forget the target. It gives you stimulate location and receiver location, which is basically the AI location, AI character location, and the target location. Stimulus, actually, sorry. And I just printed out to the scene. Very simple. Already I can grab the target name, which is this one here, and I just print it out to the scene. So if I run it, when I move, it start processing me. Here we go. I have this stimulate receiver, and it is a third-person character. One more time. Here we go. Perfect. The other event straight away can give you actor, stimulates stimulus situation, location, stimulus receive location, and other parameters like age, expiration age, and strange. So here I use another print string to just print out the results here. Both of these events are running when the AI perception process something. As you see, both of them are just get active and work. At the same time, you have another event when these two get fired. You have another event which is fired as well, and that is this AI on target perception info updated, and that this event will get activated as well, and it gives you update info like target ID, target, and stimulus. So here if I break it, I have exactly same properties which I have here from my stimulus. So it's up to you. You want to use this one, straight away grab your stimulus instead of just loop through the actors and then from the AI perception, grab the actor perception and then figure it out what's going on. Or you can use this one and just make it much easier. It's up to you. These three events are always get running when something is processed with your AI perception. So on perception updated, on target perception updated, and on target perception info updated. I didn't do anything with these guys. I just print out the result. Nothing is going on here. It's just simple um, print a string message. You can run, for example, a procedure, change AI, change sound, change color for the AI character, and whatever you want. Alrighty. Now, as I point out, I have a couple of interfaces as well. One of them is H. So this last stimulate variable, if you split the pin, it gives you a lot of information as well. Same like these properties, which I already shows here. You can grab those properties from this basically object as I did here. And from here, I grab the stimulate expiration age, which is this number, 3.2, and I send it through that interface. I have another interface here, which grab the AI perception. It get known perceived actors. There's no class here, and it gets currently perceived actor, and I just choose sight. Why I choose sight? Because I'm using sighting. If you use something else, you can, for example, hearing, you can choose that to hearing. Both of them give me an actor, give me an array of actors. For the first one, known perceived actor, I go through for each loop, grab the actors which it just detect, and set position number 1. For the second one, I just set the position number 2, and I send both of these positions through my interface. You may surprise, okay, why you do that? Let me run the project and see. This information is basically used for this text render actor component for my AI character. By default, you will see a huge number here for the age. Don't worry about that. After it get activated, as you see, I have a number of I have some variable, some information here, like the location. I say it is known, the known perception actor location is this one, and the current one basically is the next one. That shows exactly same numbers. But if I get out of range like this, as you see, the known character, let me just do that one more time. Just close this, back to the editor, and run that through the editor. That's much easier. So if I run it, if I go in range, both of them shows exact same coordination. If I go out of range, as you see, the current is get disabled. The current doesn't work anymore because it can't detect anything. It's out of sight. But the known is still active. And after 3 seconds, it became inactive. So it sounds like it already knows. Just bring this guy here. So it sounds like it detects the actor, the target, and know the location of the target. I know this is the target, and I can see that both of these coordinations are the same. When it goes out of sight, the current doesn't get updated because it is out of sight. But for 3.2 seconds, it knows where the actor is going. So it just has that location of the actor target, location of the target as well. And after 3.2 seconds, it doesn't know anything about the target, which is quite useful behavior, if you ask me, for game programming. I am inside, suddenly there is an alarm, there is shooting, perhaps it tried to shoot me, or and then I go out of sight. It try to shoot exactly this location, try to perhaps it, you know, see where I am shooting to me, and then after 3.2 it totally lose me. There is no information for perception to detect the player location. If I go again, okay, it knows where I am, how that works. And if I go out of sight, it just doesn't have any current sight of me, but it knows for 3.2 seconds where I am. So it's up to you how to use this information. Perhaps you get the known, make it a little bit noisy, and start shooting from that AI character to, for example, a location of the player which has a little bit noisy. Things like that. Perfect. What else we have here? I have an activation interface, which is this one. From this, I grab the AI state, depends on the AI state, I grab the AI perception and enable that class from my AI perception. So you can enable and disable functionality of each of those classes which you apply for your AI. At the same time, you have something called forget all. Here you totally reset everything about your with AI perception actor component. We have one event here which is called on target perception forgotten. I already implemented that to print out a message for me. Unfortunately, this one doesn't work, and as I check the documentation from the Epic website, I couldn't find anything about it. Please, if you know how to use this, how this one get activated, put some comments, and it's good to know how this one can work. Perhaps you can activate that from C++, I'm not sure. And there is something else. I have a custom event. From this custom event, I reset my AI perception after 0.2 second delay. I say forget all, and then I set that sight sense disable, and I deactivate my AI perception. So every time I get deactivated, I have an event, part of the default AI perception event, which shows the deactivation. AI component deactivated. So if I choose my AI component, AI character, run the game, and if I click on this public event here, it shows active and then make it deactive. So that's exactly what is happening here. I reset it, and then I just delay, forget all, remove the reset, basically disable the AI sense site, and then deactivate the object. And when I deactivate it, this event is get called. That is, as I mentioned before, that's a public event. That's the editor event, sorry, which I use, which I already implemented in the AI character. Perfect. Now let's talk about the last part of this last topic of this basically video. And here we go. If I move these guys here, they represent a very basic wall. Let's say it's a wall. If I move in front of the first one, the AI perception can detect me, and everything is working here. if I move here, as you see, the current doesn't change anymore because it can't see me. But the known works for 3.2 seconds and just get change. So here again and again here. So what is the secret? How can I make a static mesh actor sensitive to AI perception or not sensitive for AI perception? It's very simple actually. All you need to do is this one here. You need to go to collision detection of these characters, of these static mesh actors. For the collision preset, just choose custom and choose visibility. Ignore. For the other one, you just block everything. So this visibility here is ignored for the trace responses. For the other one is totally everything is blocked out. None of them are working. So that's why this AI perception can trace from this basically actor and see me, and with this one it can't trace, as you see, and see me through that character. So this is very, very quite handy option for using AI perception. Perfect. So that was everything about AI perception. Now, if I run the game and I move in front of that perception, perfect, it can see me, it detects me, my movement and everything. Now let's just jump to simulation mode, choose another AI character, assume this AI character is moving around and moving in front of the perception. Straight away, as you see, it can detect it, and it shows BP AI character number 2. So it can detect what is moving around and can show you that object. So it doesn't matter you have a player character or you have another AI character or perhaps a friendly unit AI character. This enemy unit can be a friendly unit, whatever. That AI perception here, grab it as a target and will process it and give you result. Alrighty, so as I mentioned at the beginning, there is a homework for you. Not homework, let's say practice. So it's good if you just check this perception, try to rotate this object toward the player. When the player changed the position, it just changed, rotate this object toward the player. See how you can do it, and perhaps change some, material, perhaps play a sound. Just play with these sample projects like a prototype and increase your skills. Thank you very much for your attention, and please feel free to put questions as a comment here, and thank you.